Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome folks, Day the Hungry Gamer is back with another con recap, and today we are talking about KublaCon Prime 2025. Now, it's called KublaCon Prime because they now have a whole bunch of Kubla nonsense. They have KublaCon Prime, which is the one I just went to, which is the main con. There's the Kubla Cruise, which I've never been on, though, although, if you want me to cover your cruise, I will happily take a ticket. He ain't gonna give me a ticket to that. And then there is the new KublaCon Fall, which original Don and I, we actually talked about on an episode of the podcast, and I'm very excited to go back to and cover again this fall. But KublaCon Prime is what we're talking about. So I was just there this weekend. Now, before I want to get into it, I have to do a little bit of an edit from last week. Last week, or maybe it was the week before, whatever it was, I talked about this amazing shirt that Matt Paquette sent me. And I talked about it and how you could get your own shirt, and there's a whole bunch of others, but I did not mention that the money from this actually goes to benefit children's hospitals in Canada. Or maybe one specific children's hospital. I'm sorry, Matt, I didn't go back and read your bullet points that you sent. Y'all, he sent this awesome email with all the information, and I just sat my ass down, and I'm talking about it. But here's the point. The shirt's cool. Be creative, Canadian style. And in addition to that, it's benefiting charity. It's benefiting children's hospitals. It's just, in a world that we're living in right now, where there's so much not good stuff going on, this is a good thing. So go get a shirt, support them. I love the guys, so there you have it. Get the shirt. But to the con. So let's talk about KublaCon Prime. Now, this is going to feel a little bit of a rerun from last year, and that is, it was a really good time. So to me, if you want a gaming con that's got a good library where you can pick stuff up, lots of people regularly looking for games, this is top tier, y'all. This is right up there with Origins. This is right up there with PAX U, where you can go and just sit down and play games. Now, is it quite there? Not quite, because those have 40,000 plus people. This one has, according to the admin, as of Sunday, they had about 3,700 people. That didn't include Monday, so I must say 4,000 people. And that's more people than they had last year. So it is growing, growing, growing. And I'm telling you, this is the con that I never, ever want to miss. I have a great time there every single time. There's good space available, good game library. People are nice. They have an amazing proto-spiel presence. So if you are looking to test games that have never been published before, or you have a game you want to test, they have an amazing proto-spiel. The vendor hall is small. I do think, and I hope that as the con keeps growing, there'll be a little bit of a bigger vendor hall, but nonetheless, there are some good places to buy games there, some really good game stores. Games of Berkeley is there. Gamescape, San Francisco was there. There were some good publishers there. Dead Alive Games was there. So some really good stuff, really great things to check out. The staff is really, really kind, really, really helpful. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. They also have an amazing miniatures painting area that is, I don't know if it's run by, but the name I know is a woman named Meredith, and she does an awesome job with the painting. She's an amazing painter herself, and just awesome stuff going on all around the convention. This is a convention that if I did not know the number was about 4,000, I'd be like, gosh, it's got to be like 7,000 people there. There's so much stuff going on. Just really, really great. The hotel's lovely. Killer. Killer, killer, killer. I complain about something, but I really don't have anything to complain about. Other than, like I said, I'd like to see more publishers showing up in the vendor hall, but that's going to come as it gets bigger and bigger. There's lots of games you can sign up for. I happened to run 3 games this weekend. I ran a game of Battle for Greyport, I ran a game of Guildmaster, and I ran a game of Cult Express, and they were all full. They were over full. I had people coming up and be like, I'm on the wait list, and had to have that awkward moment where I was like, it's kind of full, and a lot of people are already on the wait list. So that's just great. It's fantastic. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So everybody, I'm going to say the name Aldo because I know Aldo doesn't mind being the face of this. But also, Aldo, we all know It's the team behind you that's making this so great. Great job. It's a great con. I highly recommend it. If you're in the Bay Area, if you're in California, this is a must come to. If you're on the West Coast, this is a must come to con. Everybody else, get your butts out here. Let's do this thing. Anyhow, that's that. Now I want to talk about the games that I played. And as I've started doing, I am ranking my games from bottom to top that I played. I'll talk a little bit about each one and kind of move on. And so I got my paper here because I'm not smart enough to remember the 18 different games that I played. And some of them I played more than once and so on, but 18 unique games. So starting at number 18. At number 18, I'm putting Sniper Elite. My good buddy Improv Dan came down, and Dan is the guy that made my logo. Improv Dan, he came down, and we played on Monday morning a couple of games of Sniper Elite. Now, this is a game that is a very good hidden movement game. In fact, they have a new campaign that just launched on GameFound this morning as of the recording of this video, and it's really good. Everything it does is really thematic. It works, it's easy to figure out, and I just suck so very bad at hidden movement games. It's always going to be towards the bottom for me, and also it's a World War II theme, which I feel like a little icky doing World War II stuff, but the game is almost beyond reproach. So you can actually check that out on GameFound right now if you want. But that comes at number 18. Number 17 is a game that, it hurts me so bad that this is at number 17, and that is Western Legends. Now, several years ago at DonCon 2, I think, we played Western Legends, and I had a miserable time. And Original Don's been telling me for years that, no, I will like this game. I will enjoy it. Try it again. And Steve Cox, a friend of mine, gamer, was like, I really want to play this. And I was like, okay. And I made a deal with Don. I said, Don, you play Vast Mysterious Manor with me, and I will play Western Legends. And so he's like, deal. And so we played the game. And to the game's credit, and Steve's credit, because the paint job he did is really good, I enjoyed it far more than I did last time. But it's just not grabbing me. It's just not grabbing me because there's this great sandbox where you can do anything and everything. And there's all this cool stuff you can do. But I ran away with the game. And you know what I did? I took Benny the Bull from the Green Ranch over here, and I rustled it, and I took it over to the Blue Ranch here, where it got to get its stud on. Then I rustled Benny the Bull again, and took it right on back to the other ranch, and then rustled. I went back and forth, and I knew halfway through the game, I was like, this is not very exciting what I'm doing, but I'm crushing everybody, so I better keep doing it. Now, with that said, and I know that sounds like I hate this game, y'all. See what I did there, y'all? Western Legends, Cowboys. But I am willing to play it again, but I don't want to play it at more than 3 players because there is significant downtime as you go through. And we didn't even have any AP-prone players, I don't think. It just takes a significant amount of time. So I'm willing to play this game again. I want to try it again at 3 players and see what happens there. So Western Legends comes in at number 17. At number 16, ironically, is Vast Mysterious Manor. And so here's the thing. I love this game. With every fiber of my being, I love this game. I painted the whole damn thing. But this was the second fastest game I've ever been a part of, and we got stomped by Peter Vaughn from Cardboard Alchemy, and he'd either played the game once or never played it at all, and I think it's my fault. Well, one, he played a very good game, let's be clear. But I think it's my fault because I was playing the only character I'd never played before, which is the Armored Knight, the alternate yellow hero. And there was a couple things in the rules that I just did not understand. I couldn't figure out how it worked, and rather than spend a lot of time in the rulebook, I said, you know what, I'm just going to not worry about it and move on. And I think I nerfed myself. So since Peter was playing the skeletons, I think he had an easier time than he should have crushing me. Not to take away from Peter, because he played a great game. I was not going to win. I did not do well at all. But maybe somebody else might have snuck in there and made it a little more challenging. I still adore this game, and I really want to play this game again, like right now. I wish there was a solo mode where I could play all the different things also. But it just didn't come out as a great play this particular con. 15 on the list is Age of Atlantis. And this is a game from a, unfortunately, now defunct game company that couldn't make it through COVID, I believe. And this is a game that Don really enjoys. And I've enjoyed it in the past, and I enjoyed playing it with him again. I just think this is a game that thrives when you have at least 3 players. We played head-to-head, and I was able to see that he had built a good engine. And I did not have much of an engine, but I had the lead. And so I was able to push the end of the game and no one could really stop me. So this is a game that is very clever. It's got a worker placement vibe to it and a resource collection and a tableau building, engine building mechanic going on, a little bit of tower defense. Very clever game. I'm very interested to play it again, but it came in at 15. Now, number 14 is another one of my favorite games. That is Guildmaster. And the only reason it is at number 14 is I didn't actually get to play. I ran the game, and as it worked out, one more person wanted to play, so I stepped out, and I just ran the game. And I still had a good time just running the game. It's just an amazing game. This is one of the most amazing games to me that nobody really knows about and nobody's really playing. So I love Guildmaster. Number 13 is one I played early in the morning on Sunday, and that is Cthulhu Death May Die. Now this is one that my good friend Max had picked up years ago. And he's played it once, but he picked it up during COVID, and it just hasn't gotten played. And I've always been kind of curious, but I don't really love Cthulhu, so it's never been a priority for me. So we got it, we played it in the morning, and it really is a good game. It's really a fun, fast, one-off, jump in, chuck some dice, kill some stuff, probably be killed, power yourself up, and it is a very, very good system. I still don't love Cthulhu, and the scenario we played was the first one, which is one of the kind of the simpler, this is what you do, and my understanding is some of the other scenarios become far, far more interesting, but I definitely had a good time with that. Number 12 is only at number 12 on the list because it was just a demo that I did. And that is Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship, the new upcoming game from Z-Man Games. And this is by Matt Leacock. And it is a kind of a riff on the pandemic system, so a crisis management game. But you are in Lord of the Rings universe and you are trying to destroy the ring. And you're playing a whole bunch of characters. Everybody plays 2 different characters. And one of your characters does 1 action, the other does 4 every turn, and you're trying to accomplish 3 quests, and then go chuck the ring into Mount Doom. And it's good. And again, as I said, I only got to play a demo. So because I only played probably a fourth of the game, it falls down the list. But this is one that I liked it enough. And to be fair, I knew already that I was going to like it enough because I watched a little bit and I talked to people. But I was able to convince, and I think it's because they had a copy, but I was able to convince them to let me take a copy, and I get to have this copy for like a week to do all the videos I can, and I'm going to play it a bunch. I'm going to make a review video. I'm going to make a playthrough video probably if I can get it done before I have to give it back. It's really cool. I'm super, super intrigued by this game. It's very hard. I love Lord of the Rings, so yes, please, I'm all in. Number 11 is a game that I picked up at PAX U, and it's the only game left from Mayfair Games that I haven't covered from PAX, and that's a game called Lata, L-A-T-A. And this is the follow-up to a game I reviewed earlier this year called Cafe, and by the same designers, Rolla and Costa, which is amazing. And this is about canning sardines. And it's this very light, fast, a little bit of a blind bidding thing that you're doing because you have 9 actions, you're going to bid your actions, and that's going to let you pick first in the draft and buy stuff first. And it's this kind of interesting little tableau building thing you're doing where as you get your cards out around your board, any card that is in an early slot, you can spend an action to activate that card, and it can use anything that follows it. So you're canning fish. So you aren't going to can any mackerel without having oil on another card to also use with it. You're not going to do the special sardines and tomato sauce without your tomato sauce. Or maybe you just can some sardines. And it's clever. It's lower on the list because I only played once the very last game, late at night, just with Original Dawn. And we just tried it once. I will be covering this thing soon. I really was intrigued. Number 10 is the first game that I played at the con, and that is Colt Express. We played a 7-player game. It is everything I want a game that's about chaos to be. You don't have any clue who's really winning. You're playing through, you're trying to do stuff, it doesn't work. Other people are being mean to you, you're being mean to them, and it's just pure chaos. And I'm here for it. I'm still, at some point, doing a review on it, but I haven't gotten a chance to play it with all the modules yet. So at some point, I'll get to play with all the modules, and then I'll get to review it, but really enjoyed playing that. So Colt Express comes at number 10. At number 9 is a game I'd never even heard of. And Aldo, as I mentioned earlier, was walking around at the beginning, and he was passing out shopping bags with a free game in it. And he gave me a free game. This is just a game called Nemalia. I'd never heard of it. And this is a card-laying, tile-laying game where you're overlapping tiles and getting different combinations of animals out on the board. And the trick is, or the catch is, every round you're going to score 2 or 3 different scoring options, and it constantly moves around. So at the first round, you might be scoring things that have 2 otters next to it you get points for. And then you'll also score that the second round. But then you won't score it for the third round or the fourth round, but you will score it again on the 5th round. And there's 4 different scoring conditions out there, and every round scores at least 2. And there's 5 rounds, so it just kind of bounces around what's scoring, so you might be trying really hard early to score something, but then it's not going to score again for a while, but then at the end it comes back and scores again. I thought this was just some game that Aldo got donated because nobody wanted it, and I was wrong. I'm keeping this thing. I was going to just go donate it right to the game library, but no, I'm keeping it. It was really clever. I'm looking forward to playing it again. Number 8 is a relatively recent delivery, and that is from Off the Page Games called Core of Discovery. And this is if you took Sudoku and made it a board game with a little bit of adventure in it. And what it is you have this map of symbols that's covered up by little tiles that you can reveal as you're going through. And you have an objective. For us, it was to kill 3 Minotaurs. Well, to kill 3 Minotaurs, we had to find 3 Minotaurs. And you're moving around finding stuff. You had to find a fort to find out how to kill the Minotaurs. You had to get the stuff to kill them. And time is constantly ticking away. You have these little side objectives that you're doing so you don't die as you're trying to kill these Minotaurs. And the way you do it is there's these rules on each of the boards that explains what it is. For example, mud in our situation will always be next to a mountain and water, period. So if you find a mud, you know, in the 4 spaces around it, you're going to have mud and water. And so as you're trying to find things that you need, you're starting to figure out and be able to deduce where they are on the board. This is an intensely clever game. I previewed it, I liked it, I'm not good at it. My brain does not operate very well that way. And the only reason this one's actually down at 8 is the other player I played with, he enjoyed it, but it just didn't tickle his fancy. And I understand that because it's so unique in that it's, well, like Sudoku. And so some people don't like Sudoku, so you're not really going to like that. But it is very clever, really well done, and I really want to play it again sometime soon, especially with Mrs. Hungry Gamer, because I think she's going to crush at this. Number 7 is a game I've talked about a few times, and this is called Splitto. And actually, again, I have a review of this coming, and this is from 25th Century Games. It's a small box game that is, you're playing cards in between you and the player on your left and you and the player on your right, and different scoring conditions are going to be coming out. It might be have the most blue cards, have all the different colors of cards here, whatever. And there's a couple shared objectives for the whole table. You're going to go around, you're going to get a score that you're going to get from your objectives, from your left and your right. You multiply them together, that's your final score. It's super clever, and this is one that's probably going to be just about eternally in my Take to Cons bag, small game, quick filler. It's right up there with Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber for me. Small, easy to get to the table, relatively easy to teach and jump in. Number 6 is a game that, interestingly enough to me, I picked up at the last convention, or after the last convention I was at, where, again, I went in Monday morning, and there was someone looking for a game, and so I jumped in, and I played this game called Skyrise. And this is a bidding game where each of your different skyscrapers on this flying island has a different number on the bottom. And I put down, say, number 22, and then someone else can place a number next to it that's higher. And you all have a whole bunch of different numbers that you have, and you have different objectives you're trying to get. But as you're going through, you're collecting these tokens that are going to adjust your scoring for the buildings at the end of the game. And the thing with this game is it's easy to teach, it's quick to play, and it is beautiful. Just beautiful. And I have the mid-range version. I have the one that has, well, I don't know what the retail version does. I have a deluxe version. My understanding is there's also a super deluxe version that has metal minis that are washed, and mine are just plastic minis. But really like this game. Definitely one that I'm going to continue to play down the road. Number 5 on the list is one that has been on the list before a couple times, and that is Consumption. Food and Choices, though it is now, if you want to get the new copy, it's now called Food for Thought. Though the copy I have is an older one called Consumption. And this is a game about balancing your diet. And I know, that does not sound at all fun. And this is a game that you look at, you're like, there are 47 billion different resources. Karen, the designer who I played with, will be like, no, there's 12. But it is exceptional. Wait. It's about food. It is exceptional. You're welcome. And it just plays so well. And it plays so fast when everyone knows what they're doing. It was myself, Original Don, and Karen. We've all played before. Obviously, she has. And I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes we played through. We all did terribly. But it's just such a clever and fascinating game. And again, like Core Discovery I mentioned earlier, is so unique. It is such a satisfying puzzle to play. It's wonderful. It is a wonderful, wonderful, unique game. I always enjoy playing it. Number 4 is a game that I previewed, and I haven't looked at much since, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and I keep staring. I was like, I need to play that again. I need to play that again. So we played it again, and we got to get a 4-player game of it. We got Burgundy Benji, Original Don, Don's son Adrian, and myself. So max player count. And this game is called Project EOS Rise, and this is a crisis management game that has a little bit of RPG leveling up, a whole bunch of worker placement, and as I said, crisis management, and you're chucking some dice to do some fighting and all those kinds of things. And, well, the theme here, this is another intensely unique game. I haven't played a worker placement game that does all this stuff before. I haven't played a crisis management game that brings in all this worker placement. And it's really good. It's a really good game that didn't get a lot of buzz, and I think it should have. And, well, you can get copies of it now. It's out there, and I really recommend that you pick it up. It's so very unique. I actually have a playthrough video of it. I was done on TTS with the prototype version, so it has changed since then, but it's good enough that you can kind of see how it works. It's really clever, and I really had a good time playing it, and I left thinking, gosh, I need to play this game more. Number 3, we're almost through the whole list, is one of my perpetual perennial favorites. That is Red Dragon Inn Battle for Greyport. This is their cooperative deck builder, and the 3 things that really stand out about this game are, 1, everybody acts on everybody's turn. And part of my acting on your turn means I'm spending my cards. And you only redraw your cards at the end of your turn. And so everyone's acting on everyone's turn to battle the things in front of them. They're helping each other, and very, very cool. The next thing that stands out is, in general, you're chucking dice. You play a card, and that card's going to let you roll a certain die, which takes it a little bit out of the normal kind of deck building vibe of it's pretty determined of what you're going to do. You're chucking dice. You're getting bonuses. Very, very cool. And then the third thing about it that stands out to me is the way the deck building actually happens. There are no cards that you use to buy more cards, which is my big bugaboo in general about deck building games. You just, every turn, on your turn, you will get a new card. And you have coins that you get, so you have to kind of choose what you're going to spend. But in any event, this game was totally full. I actually cheated and added a 6th player to a game that plays 5 just so I could also play because I wasn't going to miss another game. And everybody loved it. Just everybody really loved it. Several of the players like, I want to buy this game right now. It's fantastic. This is another one that kind of has flown under the radar. It has 2 expansions out. I recommend getting both of the expansions, absolutely. If you're only going to get one, I would probably get the newest one with a Chaos and Copperforge, though The Pirates one's pretty cool too, but if I had to pick one, I think that's what I would do. And this is, to me, my hands down favorite deck builder out there. Period. I adore it. It's hard. It's great. I just absolutely, absolutely love it. Which brings us to number 1 and number 2. And I'm saying 1 and 2 real quick right now together because this is really more of a 1A, 1B. These two were really close in my brain, so I was trying to decide which one, was better for me at this convention. And I'm settling it here. And it might just be because this one I played as almost the very last game of the convention. Everybody was exhausted. And I'd never played this game before. But man, was it great. And that is Ahoy from Leader Games. And Steve Cox has everything. He had all the expansion factions, so I got to play a faction I'd never even seen before. I've done like very brief demos at cons over at the Leader Games booth before, but jumped in, played the pink faction, which was like a bunch of party boats they were making. I had a boat that had a masseuse and a bartender on it and all this kind of crazy crap. Well, there was whales that were fighting with the turtles that had a catapult, and they're catapulting turtles across the ocean onto islands and all kinds of crazy crap. It was great. It's a dice placement game, and I loved it. I really, really loved it. And I kind of think I need to get a copy of all this stuff. Of the whole thing, I think. The coins, everything. I think I need to get a copy of this. And you're seeing how my brain works, but yeah, first thing I'm going to do after this is see if I can pick one up off of Noble Knight. Hi, Noble Knight Games. Yeah, it's super asymmetric, which has that moment of, some people don't know what you're doing, so maybe they don't know if you're cheating or breaking the rules or whatever it is. And I actually ran away with this game, so that's part of the reason why I liked it maybe. But it's just very clever. The art's amazing. It's a small box. You can play on a normal size table, and it's great. I loved it. I really, really loved it. Which tells you how wonderful the play of this last game was for me. And this is another game that I previewed, and it arrived, and it sat right here on my shelf until I've been looking at it lately. I've been thinking, gosh, I really want to play that. And I think I got this in December. It just took a long time. It showed up late last year, I think. It's just been sitting there, and I previewed it, and this is based on Dante's Inferno. The game's called Inferno, which is a very cool theme to me. The different circles of hell and getting the souls in the right spot of hell, and you're playing kind of a bad family, and you're up running around in Italy and the city up top, and you're doing your own nonsense, and you are condemning different sinners, and their souls go to the underworld, and you gotta pay a drachma for Karen to take them across the river Styx, and then they're moving down into the underworld. You get points and bonuses, and wherever the soul goes, that determines what you can do up above ground. And there's guardians or monsters. We had Medusa and Cerberus running around down there, and it's a heavy game. In fact, I think this is the absolute top limit of how heavy a Euro game can be, and I still would be interested in playing it regularly. We've had a max player count game, and I had a blast. I got waxed. Totally waxed. Improv Dan actually ran away with it by quite a bit, but just so clever. And I really want to play more of it. It's a really nice production. I have the deluxe version, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it was a bit of a surprise to me because I thought maybe it was just a bit too much going on for me, but they streamlined it a bit since I did the preview. They cleaned it up a little bit, and I just think it really, really sings. And I actually have to go back and check and find out, when did I actually get this game? Because if it was late enough in the year that I received it, because I did receive it at the end of their Kickstarter fulfillment, then it might be in my Game of the Year pool for this year. I have to go back and check. And they have a little bit of leeway because there was a piece in there that clearly came from the factory wrong, so I had to wait until their fulfillment ended completely, and then they sent it to me, just no questions asked. It was very nice of them. But we shall see. Very, very cool game. I really, really loved it, and really want to play it again. In fact, I made a point to paint 2 of the Guardians, because I'm not playing with gray plastic. Ugh. And I need to get the rest of that painted before I go to my next con, because I'm going to take it to my next con and run a game of it there. But there you have it, folks. That is my top 18 games of KublaCon Prime 2025. It's a great con, y'all. All these games that I talked about, even though a couple of them were down the list for me, they were all good games. Not all for me, but all of them are good games, so, check them out. I would not tell anybody not to buy any of these games. Unless you're like me, like, well, I don't like this style of game or this mechanic. So, I wouldn't say buy that game. But in general, they're all good games. Had a great time. Fantastic con. Come check it out. Bring a friend. Come play games with me next year. And also, don't forget to get yourself a shirt from Matt Paquette and be creative and Canadian. And support children's hospitals. So, there you have it, folks. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.